Hello, Facebook, YouTube. Real quick video. And the last 2 days I've had some questions about repossession. What to do if a lender repossesses your vehicle, right? I've had some questions, and I pulled like 3 credit reports on yesterday alone that had a repo. And so one of the question I would ask them in that repossession, good morning, happy Saturday to you all tuning in. Hit like, hit share, show digital love if you're watching this on IG, subscribe if you're watching, comment on YouTube, to my YouTube family. So again, thank you for the digital love, and so I had like 3 credit reports. And so one of the first thing that I asked them, well, is the lender asking you to pay off a balance on the vehicle, even though they've already repoed it, whether it's a voluntary repossession or, and do you know your rights, even on a voluntary repossession, or what they call even a self-help repossession. So a self-help repossession or repo is when the lender, I got some notes here because I did my research, the lender does not have to warn you that the vehicle is about to get repossessed, right? And if they do this without going to court, it's called a self-help repossession. The only exception to this is that it's for cars owned by active duty military members, right? So they can repossess your vehicle without giving you a warning if you're not active duty military, right? So, but when they do repossess your vehicle, they have to do that without breaching the peace. And then courts review the repossession process to determine if a breach of peace occurred. So that only happens when, if you're active duty military, members who have made at least one payment on the car, and that car cannot be subject to repossession, right? So now into the topic. What if your car is repossessed? Maybe it was a you voluntarily repossessed the vehicle, right? Whatever the vehicle may be, and what paperwork should be in place, needs to be in place, before a lender can just say, hey, we sold your vehicle at an auction, but you still have to pay us this balance. So let's go over that. The first note is that any lender, thank you for the digital love, hit like and hit share this on your timeline. The first notice that any lender should give you is called a redemption notice, right? It's called a redemption notice. This notice must be provided to the owner of the car and all the co-buyers or co-signers of the vehicle. I'm saying car, but it can be any vehicle, right? So it states that the lender has the car in its possession and that the car will be sold to recover the amount owed, right? So the first notice you should get is redemption notice that's stating that the lender has the car in its possession, and then that the car will be sold for the amount that's owed. The notice of sale must be first written from your creditor after they repossess. Thank you for the digital love. This air is blowing. Let me try to change my vent. The notice of sale must be first written from your creditor after they repossess the vehicle. If you waive your right, if you waive your right to notice of the, or you waive your right to the notice, or if your state does not have a right to cure, see, you are a right to cure law. If you do not take action to recover your vehicle back before it's sold, then you will not be able to get it back, right? So make sure you do the research, see if your state has a right to cure law. But you first has to have a notice of redemption saying that they will sell your car for the amount owed. That notice must be at least 10 days and before the proposed sale of the car. So that's the first thing. This gives you a reasonable amount of time, right, to get the car or the vehicle back And it usually means paying off the loan in full plus the lender's repossession costs, right? The notice will contain information as to where you can get the exact payoff number amount. It will, or if they take your vehicle back, it must be accurate about everything to do with your vehicle and the loan. It must be 100% accurate about everything to do with your vehicle and the loan. And in most jurisdictions, it is required to state whether the sale will be open to the public or private and where it will be held. So that's the first thing you should receive is your first notice of redemption whenever your car, whether it's voluntary repossession or involuntary, right? Repossession. So if they fail to send you the proper notice of sale, then it's possible that a court will bar the debtor to the collection on a deficiency judgment, even if you know about the sale from an outside source. So if they fail to provide that redemption notice to you, then they are not in compliance with the courts, right? And then sometimes they'll force the creditor to pay you the penalties because of inadequate selling price. So you need to know that. So if they have an inadequate selling price, or you have not received this notice, and you have to go to court to defend yourself. And what a lot of times what most people do is they don't show up in court. You have a right to go to court about anything to defend yourself. I have been to court concerning my own collections, right? Before I knew I had surgery, I had endometriosis years ago. And I had a lot of surgery, medical bills that was sold to debt collectors agency. And I didn't know about my rights to dispute. But I did go to court in lieu of to defend myself, right? And I noticed in court, the attorney that represent the debt collectors, they were just calling out people's names by the hundreds. And nobody was showing. When they called my name, 𝒞𝓇𝑒𝒹𝒾𝓉, I was like, here. And they was really surprised. And I was able to defend myself. And that's how I know through all the ranks about how to pay $0 towards collections, how to dispute them, not from just the success I've gotten from my clients, but from my own success stories. So the second thing you must get from when your vehicle from the lender is repossessed is a deficiency notice, right? It's a deficiency notice. Now, after the vehicle is sold, the lender is then required to send out a second notice stating the amount that the lender credited you from the resale. So did you all know that if they sold the car over about the amount you owe on the vehicle, thank you for the digital love, they're supposed to send you a deficiency notice with any amount that is owed to you from the resale, as well as the cancellation notice of the original sales contract. The majority of the time, the vehicles are sold at wholesale auctions at a much lower price than the market value on the vehicle. So if you feel a lender did this when reselling your vehicle, you might be able to use that to defend yourself, and it's called a deficiency action, and that they will file against you to recoup the difference in the sales price of the vehicle and what you owe the lender. So, for example, in New Jersey, for example, your claim against the lender will be that the Uniform Commercial Code, the lender is not entitled to all of the money it seeks because the sale was not commercially reasonable, and as a result, the sale price was unreasonably low. If your claim is successful, the court will award you damages. So let's say they go to a wholesale auction. They're saying you owe $10,000 on the vehicle. They sell it reasonable low. They didn't give you a deficiency notice, and they sell the vehicle for maybe $3,000, right? Then you can recuperate any funds that they're trying to collect from you if you haven't, according to the Uniform Commercial Code, if they're trying to collect that imbalance amounts, the $2,000 from or $3,000 from the $10,000, right? Let's say you owe $10,000. They sold it at a wholesale auction for, let's say, $3,000, and now they're trying to recoup the $7,000 difference, and the car is way below the fair market value. then this is saying, hey, I never received any deficiency notice after the vehicle was sold. And they are required to send out this notice stating the amount that was credited to you from the resale. So they sold it for $3,000. That amount's supposed to be a credit to you. Let's say if you owe $10,000. So in actuality, it's supposed to be like a $7,000 a month amount. Oh, so a lot of people, they're not provided with this information. And so another way to reduce is to challenge the accuracy of the second notice, because it might state that you owe more than what you're supposed to. So if you had any type of gap insurance or service products factored into the original price, those amounts should have been deducted from the amount that the lender states that you owe. So that's it. You got to know the Uniform Commercial Code, the Retail Installment Sales Act, Truth in Lending Act, and Consumer Fraud Act. So those are things you should know if that lender is trying to collect from you after your vehicle has been repossessed, whether if it's a voluntary repossession or involuntary. Those are the two notices they're supposed to provide to you. All right, so time for me to get to the gym, get my workout. Make sure you share this content. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope it was a help to you. Let's get those repossessions deleted off your credit report, and also know what steps you need to take to dispute the original creditor so they don't come after you for the amount that they're saying that you owe after they have sold your vehicle.